What's up everybody, how's it going? It's Burke, aka Dansway here, and welcome to this little video in which I go back in time to see the first video that I ever made on YouTube and react a little bit to it and give a little bit of context. Now, the reason I've done this is because I was recently informed, because it's not something I actively track, that I had got to a whopping 5,000 videos on the channel since its inception. And that truly blew my mind, because that's just the kind of number that seemed obscene to me even like 5 years ago. 5,000 is huge, and considering the fact that I record longer form content, and it's not simply just sort of record a session and automatically have it dump onto YouTube in just like 30-minute chunks. I have to basically edit almost every single piece of content that goes out on the channel, and I dedicate my time and effort to basically every single one. The fact that I've been able to make that many videos of that length over the last 16 years truly blew my mind. And I thought off the back of that, it's nice to kind of go back to where it all began, take a look at that first video that I ever uploaded, and just try to let the fact that I have uploaded over 5,000 videos now on this platform truly sink in. I think plenty of you guys have seen this video before, but I'm sure some of you have not, so let's watch through it together. It's only a 3-minute, 20-second video. And obviously one of the main reasons I wanted to make a video like this is not only to obviously watch and react to it, but also to be able to give you guys some context and to actually talk about the circumstances around this video's existence. And so you can see that the video is 3 minutes and 20 seconds long, and you're going to tell very quickly that the quality is absolutely atrocious. So in terms of the title and the description, Final Fantasy X Mega Sisters versus Ultima Buster. And my description says, the sisters make light work of Ultima Buster, ... Sorry for quality and no sound, ... Now, I went through a bit of a phase in my like mid to late teenage years where I was using ellipses a lot. I don't know why I got into doing that, and at the time at least I don't think it was perceived as being like this kind of edgy, passive-aggressive kind of style. I genuinely never intended it to come across that way. But looking back on it now, like reading back some of the things that I wrote, like when I was like 16, which is how old I was when I made this video, it's really funny to see the amount of ellipses I was using. It's silly, and I haven't done it for a very long time. But yeah, back in those days, Dansway was a little bit, I guess, of an edgy teenager. So let's kick it off, and I'll give you guys obviously a bit more context and stuff as we watch the video. You can see that clearly this was recorded using like a phone camera, and there's like a little bit of a kind of already a movement in the first second or two, because that's literally me pressing record and trying to make sure my phone is set so that I can record this. So what you're seeing here is I used to have a CRT TV in my room, one of those big cube guys, and it was on like a swivel stand. And what I also had was like this type of desk that had like a metal frame on either side. And it happened to be the case that this metal frame had like this sort of connecting bar on which I could kind of rest my phone, and it was basically the same height as the TV. So back then, I had some kind of Samsung phone, I think like Samsung, I don't even remember what the model is, but basically it was a phone that had like a 3-megapixel camera or something like that, 1.3, I don't even remember, but as you can tell from what's going on here, clearly it wasn't a very great camera. And the first video, because I had no idea how to record stuff off my TV, like off my PlayStation. All I knew was that my phone had a camera and I could record my TV. And so that's how I decided to do it. So I propped my phone up, hit record, and I started to do this. Now, back in these days, obviously I wanted to start with some Final Fantasy X content. And my idea of cool Final Fantasy X content at the time was showing like potentially really difficult bosses be beaten quite easily. And that was kind of the premise that I thought I would do. It would be a very short video because obviously my phone couldn't record for too long a period of time, and it would be relatively easy to upload. Now, as you can see, the main issue I think with the recording beyond everything else other than like not having sound and just generally the visual quality being really bad are these horrendous black bars that you can see coming down. I can only imagine that's some kind of variable frame rate issue going on. Like it's reading the frames, like the interlacing, scanning frames or something like that. And because there's some kind of variable frame rate shenanigans going on here, either from the phone's recording or from the output of the TV/PS2, that's why you're getting these horrendous looking black bars. And I had no idea how to make that not show up in the recording. And so it was kind of like, either you just don't make a video, and it's not like I was going to get a new phone with a better camera or a camera to record with anytime soon. So I was like, screw it. People get the point. You're seeing the Mega Sisters kick Ultima Buster's ass. That's good enough for me. And so this was basically all I could do at the time. And really, I was basically assuming that pretty much no one's ever really going to watch it anyway. I mean, looking back on it now, it's not exactly a very impressive fight. And yeah, you can see the wobbling there as I tried to kind of press record again to obviously stop it. And that's it. That's literally all there was to it. So yeah, I mean, this is literally how everything began. CRT TV, shitty phone, propped up on like some metal bar that was part of a frame around my desk that happened to be the right height. And it's literally just me recording off my TV. I couldn't obviously even align it so it could be straight, so you can see like the TV is kind of skewed, like it's diagonal. Part of the corner of the TV is off the frame and those kind of things. But you have to begin from somewhere. I was just a 16-year-old kid heading towards the end of my penultimate year of high school. And this for me was just like something that I wanted to do. Having gotten really obsessed with Final Fantasy X and watched a lot of really cool Final Fantasy X videos on YouTube from the likes of Dark Kefka and Crow132 and Garland the Great. These guys were uploading like these really cool battles and challenge stuff, and I was really into it. And I was already well underway with my No Sphere Grid Dark Aeon adventure. And so I thought, okay, I wanted to kind of get in on this and upload some of my own cool battles in order to be able to kind of build myself up to potentially one day uploading No Sphere Grid Dark Anima. So yeah, I mean, now that I've hit 5,000 videos, I kind of just wanted to take a brief moment back and just kind of watch this first ever video that I made and just really kind of acknowledge how far everything has come. Nowadays, everything just, it looks so different, it sounds so different, the editing that goes in, everything that I do is just a complete world away. And for me, when I look back at this, there isn't like I don't feel a sense of, oh, there was something so pure and kind of authentic about this that I feel like I've lost over time and I wish I could go back to. This was just like, when I watch this, it's just literally a child experimenting with how to record their gameplay footage. And so I just take that for what it is, and I'm really glad this video exists. And I had to start from somewhere and obviously build myself up and learn. And getting to see kind of the progression over the years of the quality of the videos I make as I started to use different methods of recording and advance things further and further on the channel. For me, it's just a source of personal pride to kind of see where I came from, to see like just how horrific the quality and the presentation of this video is to kind of where I've been able to take it to now. And so yeah, it's just been really cool. And I think one of the main things I always try to kind of remind people of with this stuff is that you really do start from these types of beginnings. Yes, okay, nowadays, you know, everyone's phones record much higher quality video. Capture devices are so much easier to find and so much easier to do than it was back when I started. I didn't even really know where to start back in the day. And so obviously your first video is not going to look like this. But I think the point is that regardless of all of that, you need to start from somewhere. If you're someone that has an interest, you don't even need to be passionate about it. I mean, I wasn't passionate about content creation because I'd never done it before. I became passionate. I was passionate about the game, and I wanted to share my passion in some way. And that's how it began. And obviously, if you look at where we're at now, I guess it paid off. But I want this to be something that's encouraging for people as well. If you do have passion for things, it doesn't have to be video games, it can be anything. As you know, YouTube, doesn't matter what you're interested in really, other than some very fringe / potentially weird and illegal things, almost anything can be shared on YouTube and presented to the world. And I think even though it's more saturated than ever, there's more content than ever, just have fun with it. Be like the Danzgo 8 of July the 12th, 2008. Just try. Just experiment. Just have fun. Just create something. Just share something and see where it goes from there. And so good job to the 16-year-old version of myself actually taking a plunge, putting himself out there, because this is the type of video where, yeah, okay, the content itself is fine. I mean, it's not particularly groundbreaking to see a super kind of leveled up Mega Sisters destroying Ultima Buster, but it's the kind of presentation that could definitely be criticized and criticized heavily. if enough people watched it and they didn't have the context for kind of how this video even came about. Nowadays it has almost 5,000 views, and that's obviously a lot of people going back to see what the first video I ever made was. And so with the content, it obviously has its own little bit of charm and innocence, and people know that you've got to start from somewhere. But at the time, obviously, it was definitely daunting that I couldn't produce any better quality than this, even if I really wanted to. But I still took a gamble, shared something I was interested in, and the rest is history. Before I sign off, I don't want to take too long on this. Of course, it goes without saying that the reason I've ever made it to having 5,000 videos on this platform is because of all of the views and all of the support and all of the love that I've gotten since 2008. And so thank you all so much for being a part of that. I am, of course, looking forward to making more videos. I don't think I'm burned out on video making. I still love doing it. I still enjoy sharing my passion. And I'm looking forward to doing that as long as the platform will allow me, and for as long as there continues to be support, because obviously, since I'm no longer the 16-year-old version of myself, I can't do it purely for fun. And it needs to remain sustainable financially for me to continue to dedicate this much time to producing all of the content that I do. So thank you all so much. Maybe at 10,000 videos we'll have something much bigger as a celebration, but since 5,000 is such a wild milestone that, once again, considering where I came from and the nature of content that I make, where I basically edit almost every single video that I make, and all of my videos on average are about half an hour long, to get to 5,000 over the course of 16 years is truly insane. And I wanted to kind of commemorate that, while of course taking the time to thank you all once again for helping me achieve yet another milestone on the channel. So I will see you soon. Thanks for watching. Take care.